Hey, hi friends, how are you guys doing? Tesla stock showing really good signs of support despite the entire market tanking. It's really going to be a short one this week. Let's start with the charts first. So this is Tesla daily stock chart and this is the price movement for the past 1 week. In my previous week's video, I drew this blue line because I said that there was a gap from $580 all the way up to 640, and this gap here becomes a strong area of support. So Tesla stock went down and I told you guys buy. I bought in at Tesla around $620. Monday the stock market opened, stock price gapped up and it came back down. So why did it kind of like rest around the 700 area? Because there is actually a really tiny gap here too. If you look at this, there's a tiny gap here and the stock price kind of like shot up thereafter. So this is the next area of support. To me, I was telling you guys, anything below $700 is a buy for Tesla. Tesla is really holding strong whereas the entire market is collapsing. If you look at the SPY, which is an ETF tracking the S&P 500, prices have came all the way back down back in October. If you look at Disney, you see the stock price has collapsed beyond October timing. And if you look at any other stock out there, Starbucks or most other stocks out there, especially now like Boeing as a whole, it's been coming down really bad because of the scandal with the 737 MAX, and also now because of Corona, nobody's flying. So Boeing stocks been really hit, airline stocks have been hit, AAL. If you look at the entire market as a whole, very few companies remain high up there. Let's say you look at like awesome stocks like Apple. Apple has also came back down towards the almost the November, December area, and Apple has been doing really well holding its price near the 280 range. So Tesla, compared to the rest of the market, is holding up really well at this price here. Back in October, it was only like $200 over. So anyway, Tesla, for me, anything less than $700 is a very good place to initiate a position. So quickly buy in if you can. And as I said, like previous videos, try to buy in before Battery Investor Day, which is in April. We do not know which exact day is it, but this is the day where they'll probably announce a 30 to 60 times battery production. Let me remind you again, if you're a beginner investor, if you let's say buy in around this range here, and the stock price continue falling, it doesn't matter because short term we cannot predict the outcome, but long term we can, and our long term price target is in the thousands of dollars. I hope I've given you clarity. Let's go on to the news. But before that, help me click the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps a lot and thank you so much. Expect Model Y deliveries soon. Model Y is the SUV version of the Model 3. It's about 10% bigger in all dimensions, and because it's 10% bigger on the outside, the inside space I think is like 30 to 40% bigger. It's like doubling the size of a pizza. If you buy a 6-inch pizza, compared to a 12-inch pizza, you're not getting two 6-inch pizza, but in fact you're getting like 3 6-inch pizza because of volume itself. So the Model Y is a really relatively much bigger car than the Model 3. So anyway, it's not a small car. Model Y are seen on car carriers, transported to delivery centers, and I've been seeing people receiving delivery notice. So a few months ahead of schedule, which is pretty awesome. Q1 is expected to be seasonally weak quarter. It's not just for Tesla, but the entire industry as a whole. However, this is my opinion. Tesla seems to be making the right moves. Pushing for Model Y delivery should cover the gaps for the low season. And with the start of Tesla Shanghai delivering cars in Q1 and adding the fact that Tesla cars have sold out in Europe for Q1, I did a video on that previously. I have a like 70 to 80% conviction Tesla will do well in Q1, and for the first time, Tesla will report a positive quarter. The chances of being added to the SP500 is almost certain. Being added to the SP500 will cause a big jump in the amount of buyers because there are so many funds tracking the S&P 500, they need to buy into Tesla. I have a few messages coming in about bad sales, and this is a very short-sighted viewpoint. It's the total opposite in fact. Tesla is limited by production, not demand. As it shifts to increase deliveries from one geographic area to another, the deliveries must kind of stop at another place. So for EU, it's simple. Tesla's month-to-month sales are extremely spiky because they are dependent on shipments of cars from US. But those ships don't come to Europe every month. So there are months of almost no sales followed by a month with thousands of sales. So for a more objective comparison, it's better to compare quarterly sales instead of monthly sales. This is where traditional analysis cannot analyze Tesla. It's because how they benchmark traditional ICE manufacturers. There were some made in China Model 3s that was shipped with hardware 2.5 instead of 3. There were production issues, so they pushed for the older chips first to prioritize deliveries. The internet was mad. Let me tell you something. As a Chinese, we like to complain a lot. Dirty. Anyways, Tesla apologized and explained. When hardware 3.0 is in, they will replace it. So don't worry too much in the long-term impact. It's just too small of an issue. Like I said, we Chinese like to complain about everything. So in conclusion, Tesla's stock price is a buy now. Ignore the short-term movement, focus on the long-term, and thank me later. Also, don't believe every article you see. Have your own thought process. It's going to help you a lot in life. Tesla's demand is not slowing down. Tesla is making the right moves and the fundamentals are still very much intact. Lastly, those that always help give my videos a like, I really thank you so much for the effort. It helps a lot in my channel. And remember to invest safe.